Morning, peeps. Good morning. Sorry, just saw something here. It's about Teofimo Lopez. What's this? The best way to enhance Teofimo Lopez's emerging profile, challenge Manny Pacquiao. Okay, we'll discuss that in a few minutes. Didn't expect to see that. All right, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Don't forget as well to like and share the vids. Thank you so much to everyone that's still doing that. Big shout out to G-Man Boxing. I'm sure a few of you do follow G-Man Boxing. His channel's growing, right? Puts up loads of content every week. I don't know if you guys know the story of how me and G-Man know each other, but he reached out to me about a year and a bit ago, maybe, asking about starting a YouTube channel and like lighting, mics and all that kind of stuff. We speak regularly now. Great guy, great guy. But I wanted to challenge him a little bit, just to kind of keep on his toes. So I reached out to him and said he should come on my show on TalkSport and talk boxing. It's easy doing it on YouTube. I think there are levels to it. There's YouTube and then there's going on live radio, live national radio. The first time he did it, was a touch nervous. I could tell he was a touch nervous, but still did it. Still done very, very well. I had him on yesterday and he smashed it to pieces. Just smashed it. And I just love to see that progression, right? I love it. So shout out to G-Man Boxing. He's fast becoming my go-to man in boxing. Like, there will be a couple of big ones they expect me to get, but if I can't get them, I always go to G-Man Boxing because I know he's going to be good. So congrats, dude. Let's hope that you become TalkSport's boxing guy. I mean, that's the aim, right? I mean, it's only over a phone. You can do it anywhere in the world. All right. Actually, let's have a sip of coffee. I need the energy. Let's start. Busy week for boxing fans. It's a good week. We've got loads of fights. We've got Gervonta Davis versus Leo Santa Cruz. The monster Inoue's back. He takes on Jason Maloney. And obviously we've got Usyk versus Chisora. We're going to have a look at the Usyk-Chisora card, do scores on the doors. What chance do you give Chisora in a few minutes? I do want to talk, though, first about Eddie Hearn's response to Brook and Joe Gallagher. I thought both of them were very passionate, weren't they? You could tell he was a bit pissed off, especially with regards to Brook. I don't think he really gives a shit about Joe Gallagher, if I'm honest with you. If Joe Gallagher had... Say like Joe Gallagher was the manager of Anthony Joshua, then he would give a shit. But Joe Gallagher has fighters I don't think Eddie's too bothered about. I know people might say he's got Callum Smith. I don't think he's that bothered about Callum Smith, if I'm honest with you. He's got Callum Johnson. I think he's got Liam Smith right as well. Natasha Jonas. Remember, he doesn't just train them, Joe Gallagher. He manages them as well. Let's touch on his response to Joe Gallagher first. Now, I'm very split on this. Joe Gallagher seems to really care for his fighters, like really care. But he could also be hindering his fighters as well. Look, a lot of these fighters only make money when they get paid. That's just how it is, right? A lot of them won't have outside sponsorships that keep them going regardless of if they're fighting or not. Especially the ones like, I don't know, I don't expect Callum Johnson, for example, to have a big sponsor. Callum Smith might have a sponsor, but I don't expect Callum Johnson to. So, and he's got others. He's got loads of fighters. Paul Butler, for example, he's got loads of fighters under his stable. So yes, on the one hand, he's very passionate for his fighters and he wants them to get the best deal. But right now, they're not fighting at all. They're not fighting, right? I mean, I've asked what's going on with Callum Johnson. Now we speak about Callum Smith. I mean, these guys aren't fighting. So yes, you can fight for them as much as you want and hope they get the best deal, or you can just let them fight. It's a tough one. Look, you don't want any boxer to get robbed. I mean, he must see it up close and personal when these fighters go through the trenches and the wars, and all he wants for them, I guess, is to get paid to do that. But at the same time, right now, they're not getting paid at all, like zero. And Eddie Hearn seems to be okay with just not having them on his fight cards, like happy, like no one is screaming out for Liam Smith. No one's screaming out really for Callum. I do a little bit. No one's screaming out for Callum Johnson. So it's a tough situation, this one. I don't want Joe Gallagher to back down from it, but he's got to understand the current climate, right? The current situation we're all going through. Everyone seems to be taking some sort of a pay cut. That's what it seems like anyway. I don't know how true that is because I don't speak to boxers and ask about their purses, but it does seem like that. I think Frank's mentioned it on a few occasions. I think Bob's even mentioned it. We saw it in the Lopez fight. Both of those guys took pay cuts to get in the ring. So that it is happening. But it doesn't seem as though Joe is truly accepting or happy about the offers he's receiving from Eddie Hearn. Some might say, right now, any offer's better than no offer. But fucking hell, I mean, we're not the ones getting in the ring, getting a pasting. Right? This isn't going outside playing football. I mean, you're going in there and you're risking everything. So it's the one sport where there shouldn't be a pay cut, really. There shouldn't be. But that's life. With regards to his the way he fired back about Kell Brook, I said at the end of that video, as much as I said that Sky should be backing Kell Brook, if you watched the video in full, I did say after me talking about that, I did say, but all of this is on Kell Brook. I said it. I said all of this, right? It's not that. It's not his manager's fault, which is his dad. It's not Eddie's fault. It's Kell Brook's fault. And I think Eddie alluded to that. He alluded to all that. And I don't know, I might buy Eddie's book. Maybe he opens up about a few stories here, but he spoke about why they took the Golovkin fight. I don't know. Like, was it a case of he just couldn't make 147 and just had to take a fight? Was he in financial trouble? I don't know. He spoke about other fights there, Carson Jones, and the bad preparation for that fight. His dad and his trainer Dominic Ingle having to beg Kell Brook to kind of, get on the right track again. So look, Kell Brook has effed up his own career. He really has. And I don't know. That's the one thing I agree with Eddie Hearn. I mean, that rant, I was like, I knew it was coming. You knew it because he's not the first person to talk about Kell Brook. Even Frank back then was speaking about Kell Brook, not living the life. So that doesn't shock me at all. Do I still think they should back their man after hearing that speech? Probably not. It does look like, and again, look, we're only hearing from one side now, Eddie, but it does seem as though they have gone to America. They have tried to broker a deal. And then once they brokered the deal and there isn't enough money in the pot, now they've tried to go back to Sky and say, can you show the fight? Basically, so they can just all get a bit of extra cream on top. I can understand why Eddie's upset with that. If they've not brought in Eddie for any negotiations or anything with regards to this fight, then you can understand why Eddie's a bit pissed off. Because Kell made it seem like I've been with Eddie since the get-go and he's doing this to me. And Eddie's like, well, you went over there and tried to broker a deal yourself without me. And now you're trying to bring me in lastminute.com. Nah, I'm 110% with Eddie on that one. All right, enough of that. Let's talk about fights that are coming up. Let's have a quick look in full about this pay-per-view card, this Chisora Usyk pay-per-view card. Sorry, I should have had it up. I'm not in the bubble. Remember, I think I said on a video maybe last week, that there was a chance that I would be in the bubble. I don't think I'm pretty sure I'm not. Today's Tuesday, I would have been in by now. I think the idea was for TalkSport to get this fight and to commentate on it, and I'd be in the bubble and just do some interviews and stuff. But I don't think they're getting this fight. Could be wrong. Like, some deals are brokered lastminute.com. They could still get it from a commentary perspective, but in terms of having someone like myself in the bubble, All right, let's have a look. Remember, this is a pay-per-view event. You got Cash Farouk is on this card. I think he's just been added, Cash Farouk. He's fighting a guy whose surname I can't pronounce, Martin Tukaputia, who's 15-12. I like Cash Farouk. I do like him a lot. Dave Allen, this is an intriguing one. Dave Allen versus Christopher Lovejoy. Christopher Lovejoy unbeaten but hasn't fought anyone, a lump of a man. Again, they were trying to get Lemroy Thomas, who said he needed more time to get in shape, although he is here. But the original one would have been Christian Hamer. I think this Dave Allen, Christopher Lovejoy could be an interesting fight just because we don't know. Amy Timlin versus Carly Skelly, both unbeaten. This is for a Commonwealth super bantamweight title. Well done, Eddie's really pushing the female agenda. He really is. Like, I can't discredit him. He's like, there seems to be a female fight on every single card. I mean, and there's a card coming with loads of females on it, right? So credit to him. Savannah Marshall versus Hannah Rankin. This is for the vacant WBO middleweight title. Savannah Marshall, obviously unbeaten, trained by Peter Fury. This fight was supposed to happen on the Luis Ritson Miguel Vasquez card. Didn't happen. I had Hannah Rankin in the studio. She came into the studio with Ellie Scottney last week. I spoke to her, looked in ridiculously good shape. Like, you know, you can start to see like all the bone structure in your face when you've lost all the fat from your face. She's in shape. Obviously, people are going to point out the fact that she's lost, but she's lost in world title fights, I believe. She lost to Clarissa Shields in a world title fight. She's fought at 154, 160, super middleweight, but really it was 162, 163. This is a step up, kind of, for Savannah Marshall. Savannah Marshall, yes, she's got the amateur pedigree, but she's never fought at world level as a pro. Hannah Rankin, former IBO 154-pound champion, has fought at world level. So we'll see how they get on. Should be a little good fight. Tommy McCarthy, who is 16-2, takes on Bilal Lagoon for the vacant EBU European Cruiserweight title. Remember, that was a belt won by Lawrence Okoli. Obviously, he's vacated it. Good opportunity for either one of those guys. Good opportunity for Tommy McCarthy, sorry. Lee Selby, this is a sleeper of a good fight, you know, versus George Kambosos, or Kambosos. How do you guys say it? Lee Selby has moved up a couple of weight classes. We'll see. I think that's what you're supposed to do at the lower weight classes to almost, you know, make sure your career goes on a bit longer. Obviously, it's the weight cutting that kills a lot of these fighters. If he does win this one, this is an IBF mandatory. He will be in line to fight Teofimo Lopez. Even when that fight happens, I do not know, but good fight. Very, very good fight. Let's see what Lee Selby can do. I didn't think Lee Selby had much power at a couple of weight classes below. So he's not. There's no talk about him carrying up power. This is all about skill. This is going to go 12. Let's just see what happens. And then we've got the big one, Alexander Usyk versus Derek Chisora. All right, scores on the doors. What have we got here? We got female super bantamweight title, WBO female middleweight title. You got a European cruiserweight title. You got an IBF lightweight eliminator, and then you've got Usyk Chisora, right? With the winner, I guess, in line to fight AJ, if that's how it works. You know, there's a lot of people obviously will moan about the undercards of pay-per-view cards. Can I be very honest with you? I rarely watch some of the undercards. Like, if the main event is so big, I'm a guy that just has friends around sometimes, chill, and then I just watch the main event. And then I'm like, if it's something special on the undercard, then I watch it. But I don't know. Like, no one is given their 1995, whatever they're given for this undercard. You're giving it for Usyk Chisora. I mean, if we stack the undercard, obviously we're very happy, but the money's for Usyk Chisora. Do you know what I mean? But I like it. I like the card. I think there's some fun fights on there. I think Dave Allen Lovejoy is going to be a fun fight for the casuals. And then you've got Selby, Kambosos, which is a bit more of a hardcore, friendly fight. Savannah Marshall, I think, is going to be a good fight. I think Tommy McCarthy versus Bilal is going to be a good fight. I like it. I'm going to say it's a 6.57. 6.57. All right. Enough about that. This video might be a long one. What chance do we give Chisora? And don't say no chance. I don't want to hear that crap. Don't say no chance at all. Sorry, one sec. Apologies. Yeah, don't say no chance. People always say, oh, I'll give him no chance. Let's be fair here. Be fair. Percentage. Let me know below. Percentage. I give Chisora I'll say a 30% chance. I think that's fair. I'll say 70-30. Just because, you know, yesterday I watched the Usyk versus Witherspoon fight again. It was all right. It was a good performance from Usyk. Wasn't like, didn't send sparks flying. And let's not forget, Witherspoon took that fight on, I think, something like 8 or 9 days notice. Yeah, 8 or 9 days notice. Remember, it was supposed to be Tyrone Spong. In fact, let's go back. It's supposed to be Carlos Takam. Then Carlos Takam switched promoters or management, so the fight didn't happen. Then it was supposed to be Tyrone Spong. And then it was Witherspoon who took that fight on. So he clearly wasn't in shape, but took Usyk a few rounds. Usyk done what Usyk did, right? Started landing some good shots, started to go through the gears. But I wasn't overly impressed with that performance. I mean, I'm overly impressed with the body of Usyk's work. I mean, I think Usyk's a fantastic boxer. But again, I'm only talking about him as a heavyweight. This is a heavyweight fight, is it not? And I wasn't super impressed. That being said, I do feel like we're going to see a better Usyk. We're going to see an Usyk that is now comfortable having those extra few pounds on his back and his legs, whatever. He's midriff. He's going to be a bit more mobile, I believe. And he's going to be better. In saying that, opposite him is a guy that I think has been training hard for this fight. I think he looks in good shape. He's extremely motivated. And we know he's going to come to fight. We know he's going to come to fight. There's going to be a time when Usyk might have to engage here. Might not, but I think there will be a time when he has to engage. Chisora, under that kind of Joe Frazier peekaboo style, will get to Usyk a couple of times. It's what he does when he gets there. I don't know, man. That's why I give Chisora a 30% chance. Just because of watching that Witherspoon performance again, I thought, Witherspoon was slow. Witherspoon was predictable. Chisora's a bit slow. Chisora's a bit predictable, but he's just less slow and less predictable. I'm not trying to make Chisora out to be something he's not. Look, I'm not. I just feel like he's not as bad as we think. Yes, he's a bit predictable in what he does, but what he does sometimes is quite effective. And he's a lump of a man. And he can hit. And I think he has underrated boxing ability. He's going to look really bad because Usyk has fantastic boxing ability. But it's an interesting matchup, you know. This is an interesting matchup. Can Usyk just pot shot him for 12 rounds? Can Usyk knock him out? I don't know, you know. I'm really... Maybe I shouldn't have watched that Witherspoon fight because that's maybe made me... Because before watching that fight, I have to be honest with you, in my head it was like 85-15. And then I watched it and I was like... Credit to Chisora, you know. Credit to the man. 9 losses and he's here. Like there's been a few times when I thought Chisora's done. Like when he got smoked by Hay, I was like, yeah, well done to the kid. Right, you know, he got himself in a good fight. Hopefully made some money, and I thought it was done, honestly. And then kind of built himself back up again. And then he had the Dillian White fight, and I was like, oh, he should have won that fight. Unlucky, you know. Credit. And then he's just gone away and put in a few dud performances, like the one against Caballero. Didn't look great against Pulev, and yeah, you know, honestly, all the time, like that's my response to him. I was like, you know, whatever, unlucky. And then he just seems to be able to always dig one out. Every time I think he's kind of done, he just digs one out. Like, was it Malik Scott? It was Malik Scott, wasn't it? I think he had the Malik Scott performance. And I was like, huh? 1 second. Sorry, was it not Malik Scott he fought? Way back when? Yeah, it was. Yeah, Malik Scott. Strange performance. Then a Dillian White. And then, obviously, had that Carlos Takam performance, which surprised a lot of people, let's be honest, even though Carlos Takam was winning most rounds in that fight. And then he got knocked out by Dillian White again. Well, not again, but got beat by Dillian White. And then that's when I thought, he's done. Can't lie to you. After that one, I thought, he's done, man. Like, well done. Like, again, well done, but you're done. And now all of a sudden, he's put himself in a position where he's fighting a pound-for-pound guy in the top 5. on pay-per-view. Like, you've got to applaud it. Good luck to him, man. Honestly, if he lands one clean, it wouldn't shock me. But I do expect Usyk to win. I expect Usyk to win wide, or Usyk to kind of get a late stoppage. That's what I expect. But we'll see. We'll see what he can do. Good luck to Chisora. Another big fight on the weekend is in America. Gervonta Davis taking on Leo Santa Cruz. This fight is at 130 pounds. Good fight. Good fight. Looking forward to this one. I'd favour Gervonta Davis, obviously, but Leo Santa Cruz is a good fighter. This weight is good for him as well. Obviously, initially, people I think thought this fight was at 135. No, it is at 130. 130 makes me feel like this is a lot closer than it would have been at 135. At 135, I think he could have been steamrolled. I really think Gervonta Davis would have just been too big, too strong. 130, when we know Gervonta Davis is struggling to make the weight, Leo Santa Cruz won't struggle to make the weight. Who knows? Who knows, right? Leo Santa Cruz has got a fantastic boxing IQ. Who knows what can happen? Be a good fight. And then Inoue, the monster, against Jason Maloney. They have an opponent they both fought. Inoue, they both fought Rodriguez. It's Rodriguez. Inoue smoked him. Remember that fight up in Scotland? Maloney lost to him by split decision. Maloney is the bigger guy that has fought a super bantam. And he's only lost once, and that was to Rodriguez. So should be a good fight, but always good to see the monster back. So yeah, that's a great weekend of boxing. A great weekend of boxing. I'm sure there's a couple other fights as well, but those are the main three fights that we have. So again, can't complain, people. All right, let's quickly touch on this one. Teofimo Lopez, the best way to enhance his legacy or his profile is to challenge Manny Pacquiao. He won't get that fight. But that's a fight I wouldn't mind seeing. Like, Teofimo would take that. Teofimo would jump to 147 now to have that fight. I don't know what's going on with Manny Pacquiao, if I'm honest with you. No idea. I don't think he's fighting Conor McGregor anymore, is he? No idea what's going on. No one even... Like, what is going on with Pac-Man? Anyone know? Does anyone out there know what's going on with Pac-Man? Because I've not got a clue. There's been no rumours, no speculation. I mean, the only rumour, I guess, was Conor McGregor, but that's not really what we want to see. I haven't got a clue what's going to happen. But Teofimo Lopez right now, right, he's got options. I mean, he's got loads of options. And that's what happens when you roll the dice. He rolled the dice, his numbers came up, and now not only is he a multi-world champion, he's a multi-world champion that will earn some very, very good money in the next few years. Especially if he can stay on that track. Very, very good money. He's already a pound for pounder right now. So, all right, what's this? Very quickly, we'll run through some stories. Chavez Jr.'s home is burglarized. 750,000 in valuables taken. Jeez. Anything else to really talk about? Mauricio Sullivan's house is burglarized. What is going on? What's this? Fucking Crime Watch. Brook, I applaud Crawford for taking the fight. He'll be in there with a monster. I think probably Crawford's thinking exactly the same thing. I applaud Brook for taking the fight. He'll be in with a monster. Good luck to Kill. What we got here? Is there anything interesting? It's not really much interesting, you know? I see that Brook versus Crawford is on Premier Sports 1 in the UK. I think that's a subscription for $9.95. But I'm sure I read somewhere that although it is only $9.95, you have to like subscribe to. I think you have to kind of commit to a contract for like 5 months or something ridiculous like that in order to get this fight. Some bullshit. So I think it could cost people something like 50 quid to get it, just because you have to commit to a contract. If that's true, then you know what people are going to do. All right, anything of interest? I don't think there is. So that's short and sweet. Short and sweet. Sorry, peeps. Peace.